Now, when I came up here to look, I went, what? Welcome back for part 2 of the 25-06 Rising Bullet Mystery Show. If you saw our last video on this Dakota Model 10 25-06 rifle, you will remember that I was getting some crazy elevations at 300 yards. When it should have been dropping an inch, it was climbing 3 inches. So the big mystery was, why was this happening? And I got some great responses from our readers, so stay tuned to this episode of Ron Spomer Outdoors. Now, before we continue, of course, I've got to thank our patrons on Patreon. If you would like to join the Ron Spomer Outdoors Patreon community, just go to patreon.com, Ron Spomer Outdoors. We'd sure appreciate the support. And subscribe to this channel if you can. That always helps. At any rate, we're going to do some shooting with this and figure things out. But I really want to thank all the folks who wrote in with ideas. I think we might have figured it out. But let's just go through some of these suggestions because there were some really good ones. You know, a lot of people saw that there might be a loose scope mount. Well, no, I checked it and it sure does not look loose. Someone else suggested the scope might be loose in the rings sliding back and forth. That didn't check out, so I think we're okay there. The next one was, you've probably got a broken scope. Everything's working properly on this thing. Another one was the uphill angle, and this was a good one. A lot of people brought that up. You can see how this rifle is tilted uphill. But the problem is it's not that steeply angled. Next up was inconsistent reloads. And on that one, you're going to have to take my word for it because I built these with a powder measure grain by grain. I mean, I didn't just dump my powders in here. Now, the even better idea someone came up with was fore-end pressure. And I like this one because I did not even think of this while I was shooting. I'm so used to one-piece stocks on my rifles and then having a floated barrel. Well, what you amount to there is not pressuring or touching the action or the barrel at all because the pressure of the weight of the rifle in the bags is taken up by the stock as long as that barrel is free floating. And then if you have pillar bedding, you don't even put pressure really on the metal. That varies at all. And most rifles I've been shooting for the last 25, 30 years have been like that. Not these single shots. This Dakota 10 has a forend that hangs off of the rifle's barrel on a hanger bar. So you don't want pressure coming against the receiver here. I think the bar comes off the receivers, but the swivel stud ties into it. I have not taken it off to look at exactly how it works. So either the hanger bar comes off of the receiver and doesn't touch the barrel, or it's hanging right off the barrel. Either way, if I put variable pressure on that front to back, that could be affecting how my bullet goes up. Now I think we're on to something. So that's what we're going to test today. I probably should be shooting with my hand under it like this. Now in the field, I'll be doing that unless I'm using my shooting sticks and I put it in the fork of the shooting sticks, and then it's going to recoil off of that. So that's something I've got to do some research on to be consistent in the field. But for now, let's just shoot this with that gun consistently resting here. So I'm going to fire one shot as a fowler. And I just threw an all-copper Barnes bullet on here because I'm running out of hammer bullets and I don't want to shoot them all up before hunting season. So we're going to load that baby on safe, downrange. Chronograph is on. Whether or not it's accurate, we still don't know, but we're going to just assume it is and see if the velocities are the same as they were on my previous shots when I measured it. Got to get this guy to fit me, right? Well, that looks about right. I'm not getting great support back here at the rear. I'm a little bit light. I'm going to slide forward some, get my chest against now this is a Stookie bench, by the way, and someone suggested my bench wasn't very solid. Ha ha, you got that one wrong. This bench is rock solid. I am always impressed with how solid this bench is. Anchored down very nicely. Now, I may not have the best bench rest position in the world. The way I shoot, I tend to be old-fashioned hunter kind of guy. At least I'm not shooting off of a back of a truck in the wind. Clearing that chronograph just fine. So If everybody's ready. Oh yeah, see once again, straight up, just about right on the line, so my windage is beautiful. And I aimed at the center orange dot, so I'm up 1, 2, 3. I'm too high. But that was a fouling shot. So, cool barrel. Well, how do you define cool barrel? This is certainly not hot with one shot, but it's a little warmer than it was before. So let's let it cool down for a bit, and then we'll come back. And we'll show you what we did on that target. Hey, while we're waiting for the barrel to cool, I'd like to tell you about RSO TV. Yeah, it's something new. There are a lot of topics on firearms and ammunition and hand loading and such we cannot cover on YouTube. So we're doing deep dives on Ron Spomer Outdoors TV. So go to my website, ronspomeroutdoors.com, and you'll see where to click to get into RSO TV. There's a small fee to join for the month, but you know, we got dozens and dozens of videos on there and a lot more coming, so we'd love to have you. All right, the barrel should be plenty cool now. Now we're going to go to the real deal, the full house loads with the hammer bullets. 92 grain bullet. Last time it was averaging 35.50. We'll see if this chronograph has changed at all, and we'll see what the elevation is going to land at with this new setup. Nice. Now this guy's straight up, maybe a 1/4 inch to the right, and looks just about like what it was last time. I might have a 1/2 inch group or so right there. That suggests my bullets are fine. My loads are fine. We'll cool for a little bit here, give it one more shot. So I think we'll turn the cameras off while it cools down, guys. Okay. Barrel is not perfectly cool, but those first 2 shots suggest that that's probably not going to be the issue. We'll do our third one with a little bit warmer barrel here, and I'll bet you we're going to stay under MOA if I do my part. Hope so anyway. I'm holding this rifle quite loosely. Yeah, it looks like we got about a 3/4 inch group there, guys. We are going to go down and look at that and talk about it, and then go to 300 yards. Okay, see what I did here. Fouling shot with that 87 grain Barnes X bullet, aiming right here, so that was quite high. But then here, here, and here. So that is under minute of angle, and I think we're good to go. So how high am I? If the center line is not matching up with these, it's a dumb target. I wish you wouldn't do that. I should have aimed at the point, but then I would know I'm 1, 2. So we start from here. We go 1, 2, 2, and just a smidgen more, 2.5 inches. I think I'm going to come down 1 click, maybe 2. That would bring me down either a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, and I think a 1/2 would be probably smarter. 1, 2. It's supposed to be 2.1 inches high. Boy, I think just 1 click should do the job. 1/4 MOA. And then we'll see what it does at 300 yards. So let's click her down. 1 click, that's a 1/4 inch, 1/4 MOA. Oh, I always forget this old scope. This thing is probably 25, 30 years old. Still works great. It's always been a great scope, but I've got to use a screwdriver to turn it down. So it does click. Okay, looks pretty good. Oh, he's right in the cluster. I can't even tell where it is in the cluster, but it's right in there. Now, when I came up here to look, I went, what? I didn't put any more holes in it? So I looked at that camera that was recording the whole time, and thank goodness I did. I could just see a slight little increase in the bottom of this one. So I think that shot went right there, which is just where I wanted it to go with that 1/4 click anyway. That should be perfect. Now we should figure out where we're going to hit at 300 yards. So let's go. Okay, I have 2 rounds left before I have to go load up from fresh ones. But we are going to set up for 300 yards now and see if we're still climbing too much. If we are, back to solving the mystery some other way. Well, let's get set up here. I really like what that rifle was grouping at 100. Felt good. Felt good. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty pleased with this. Now, let me interpret a little bit if you didn't see my previous video. The last shot I took at 300 yards was right here. The one I just took now was right here. Earlier, before I started making these videos and I was playing around with this load, I hit these two. And the wind on those two was the same as it is on this one. Remarkable consistency, isn't it? For windage, wow. But I'm still high. I'm aiming here and I'm going 1, 2, and a smidgen inches high yet. So you think, well, whoa, you're still shooting too high. Hold on. This is just one shot. And what is my minute of angle rifle shooting? That rifle shooting on that 100-yard target, 3 shots were just under an inch, probably 3/4. They didn't measure them. Well, 1 inch group at 100 yards is 2 inches at 200 and 3 inches at 300. 3 inches. So this could easily be just within my MOA on my rifle, the grouping of that rifle just happens to be one of the high shots. My next one might be down here. So I think we're just about in there. But I also think that this bullet probably does have a little higher BC than it is rated. And I don't see this as a problem. I mean, if I can aim at a 100-yard target and hit 2 inches up and do the same at 200 and 300, that's like magic. I don't have a complete explanation, but I did check one other thing before we walked out here. Just out of curiosity, I remember saying something about I had moved my bench up and that 400-yard target. And I said, wait a minute, that changed my 300-yard target. I moved my bench forward from the usual position, hit this with a rangefinder. It's 285. Supposed to be dead on at 292. So this isn't truly a 300-yard hit. This is 285. So that's probably knocking another ½ inch to an inch off of it. I'm not real sure. Either way, I think we solved our problem and figured out why this rifle's doing what it's doing, except why the 200-yard hits, those two, and the 300s are so similar. And I'm just going to take that as a blessing. Thank hammer bullets. I don't know what you're doing, but I love it. Good. All right. We've got a 400-yarder here. According to my chart, 400 yards, I should drop 7.5 inches. I heard it hit. Now, looking at this busy target, I am thinking my bullet hit right there. Completely different color, no rust around it. Has got definite copper wash to it. It's nice and shiny when I look at it. I was holding about right here. Yeah, that's where my hold was. So I drifted about 8.5, 9 inches. The wind up here is a lot stiffer than it is down where I shot from, so it would have been a little bit different than predicted, but not bad. Now, the elevation hold, I was just under the lip of it about right here, so it's like I dropped a good 9 to 10 inches. So a little more drop than predicted. So I've got a pretty good feel for what this thing will do. I think I'm going to try to shoot my deer inside of 300 yards. All right, guys, what we're going to do is put all this footage together, take a careful look at that, and then we'll wrap this up for you. But I'm thinking we may have found the problem, which was the pressure on the forend. But now, when I go hunting, I'm not going to be holding it right here. I'm still going to hold here. So my next step before I hunt is to find out how it shoots this way. I won't get as tight of groups. Maybe I could rest on here and do pretty darn well. But I'll have to work up some new loads or just build some new loads. I'm going to use the same process, the same system and recipe. But I think we solved it. And I think you guys who wrote in and said, hey, check that forend pressure, make sure it's not binding, make sure it's floating, make sure you're not putting different pressure on it. And maybe the sling swivel stud was hooking up a couple of times too. But I really want to thank you guys for helping me out with all these great ideas. We checked them all out, and I think we solved their problem. That's how you have to diagnose your rifle. So next time you're out there and things aren't working the way they're supposed to, don't give up. Produce a video and ask everybody else to help you. Hey, this is Ron Spomer. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Great to have you along. Until next time, hunt honest and shoot straight.